This podcast is part of the Frederick Podcast Network. Learn more at listenfrederick.com.
That's number one. You kind of reset your
Painful, tender to the touch. May also
same shoulder length and the other.
Well, hello, and welcome back to another episode of the Real Health Podcast with Brandy and Amir. I am Dr. Amir Rashidian, a chiropractor. Brandy Rashidian is my other half and co-host and the brains of the show. She's got the looks, the talent, and the brains, all of that. And I tell the jokes, but she's funnier. So
He's just doing that because Mother's Day is coming up.
figure that out.
He's trying to prime
That's
the pump.
Right, Mother's Day. Good.
Yeah.
I forgot to start my timer. Here we go. So the Real Health Podcast is where we bring you all the latest information from, mainstream media. Some of it is crap. And but
we still bring it to you.
We'll tell you what's useful and what's not. But you need someone to do this for you. You need someone to read this stuff and tell you what it means and how to apply it to your life. But when you do apply it correctly to your life from a wellness, non-drug, non-surgical perspective, then you become a better person and you get healthier. So our hope is that what we share with you helps you become healthier, feel better, get stronger, live longer, and feel younger. And the Real Health Podcast is brought to you by the Frederick Podcast Network. It can be found on listenfrederick.com, along with Spotify, YouTube, iTunes, iHeart, and wherever else.
He's the memory of this because I can't ever remember to say all that, which is why you have to say it every time.
50,000 different places. Yeah, that's good. Well, I have like these tracks. I just push play and it comes out. I can think about something else and say something else.
Sorry, I was off screen for a second. I needed a pen. It keeps me from slamming my hands on the table, I think, which is, Sean does not like me to do
We're
that.
not prepared today. I don't have a pen either.
Do you want a pen?
Why not? Go off screen
I did just
one more time.
I did just tell him that I was disappointed in his messy space over there.
This is not messy. Messy is when I start throwing the papers from frustration. That's
Might be
what's
throwing
messy.
some stuff today.
Well, what do you say? Are you feeling good today? Is this you having a good day?
Yes, this is my first morning in several weeks that I haven't been tied to a front desk of an office, which was
Wow.
nice because I have a lot of backlog stuff I need to get done. So,
Well, there you go.
yeah. How about you?
Oh yeah, I feel productive. I feel like we got a lot done already, and it's still morning. It's not morning actually. It's now afternoon. Either way, we got a lot done. So, and I still have a lot to do also.
Yep.
So, but this is fun. We get to spend time with you, which is one of our favorite times of the day, of the week.
Yes.
And so, what do you say we jump into this one right here? This is Washington Post. The author is Ariana Yunjung Cha.
It's a nice name.
Yeah, better than
Keep
the
going.
other one, Gina Colada.
Which will remain nameless.
So the title of the article on Washington Post is "The Links Between Autism, Alzheimer's Could Change How We Treat Both." I didn't even know there was a link between autism and Alzheimer's. I mean,
There's all sorts of links being brought out today. So,
well, and then politically correctness says you can't say the word autism anymore.
what?
You're supposed to say spectrum.
Hmm.
Yeah, so you know how you tell everybody your husband's autistic? You have to say your husband's on the spectrum.
Well, we know I do not roll with the way culture does things, so I will probably still be saying you're autistic.
All right, can you guys vote? Like, all vote. And how many of you think I'm autistic? I'm just curious. I sometimes I agree with her, actually. So
There are moments.
yeah, I agree with you on a lot of things, but on that specific one,
Yeah.
it's
I
hit or
mean,
miss.
I am right most of the time, so it's hard not to agree.
Yep. Always trust the person who says I'm always right.
I said I'm mostly always right.
Uh-huh.
Almost always. There's a slight chance that there could be something somewhere. I'm just kidding. I'm
We
wrong.
just haven't seen that yet.
I'm wrong sometimes.
The article explores emerging research suggesting that autism, a developmental condition, and Alzheimer's, a degenerative disease, may share underlying biological mechanisms. Scientists are finding overlaps in genes, neural pathways, and brain structures, challenging the long-standing belief that these conditions are entirely separate. Studies show that individuals with autism may have a higher risk of early onset Alzheimer's, possibly due to shared disruption in synapses. Synapses are where neurons communicate with each other.
Mm-hmm.
Neurons are cells of your brain and nervous system. So these are connections between brain cells, basically. The cellular cleanup processes like autophagy. So autophagy is when the body eats the unhealthy cells.
Right. And that's often you can I don't know if I'm using the right word, induce autophagy by things like fasting. Fasting actually does lead into autophagy. And that's why one of the reasons why fasting is considered to be so healthy is because it does increase that opportunity for the bad cell cleanup to occur.
Achieving ketosis and staying in ketosis has shown to destroy brain tumors.
That's awesome.
Oh, yeah. Pretty cool.
Awesome.
So I'm going to read that sentence one more time. It says, studies show that individuals with autism may have a higher risk of early onset Alzheimer's, possibly due to shared disruptions in synapses and cellular cleanup processes like autophagy. So basically, it's saying where the connections are between the nerves, between the brain cells, are similar in people who have autism and people who have Alzheimer's.
Yep.
And how the body cleans itself up by getting rid of bad cells, disease cells, it's similar between these two groups of people. While the research is still early and somewhat speculative, it opens the door to new treatment strategies that could target both conditions simultaneously, shifting focus from isolated diseases to broader brain system dysfunction. I'm always happy when they step back and go, hey, let's forget about each disease and let's make the brain healthy. Let's help the brain be able to repair itself, clean itself.
That's the idea. That is actually what we should be doing for the entire body, every system.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
But I also cringe when they talk about genes because they basically say there's nothing we can do about it. So there's genetic link. They said autism linked to higher risk of early onset dementia as well. So not only are people on the spectrum are more likely to have Alzheimer's, but they're more likely to have early onset dementia.
This is probably a good time to encourage everyone. Whenever you hear someone talking about a genetic makeup and how genes can lead to these things, those things are correct, but do your due diligence and begin studying epigenetics. Because that's where you're going to learn how genes get turned on and off, because your genetic makeup is a blueprint, right? It's like architecture drawings. But until you actually do certain things, that those walls aren't going to exist. Like, it's just a blueprint. And so you actually have to do things in order to make that a reality. And our bodies work the same way. And so a gene can be turned on, and I would say in probably most cases could be turned off as well. And certain things will turn those on. It could be toxins, it could be certain stressors in the body, physically, biochemical, emotional or mental stressors. So those things can all turn those genes on. And so when they start talking about that, my issue with that is we then take the responsibility away from the patient from looking at what their lifestyle is doing to turn those genes on and off, right? So I probably do carry a gene for cancer. The odds are I probably carry it.
Chances are everybody does.
Correct. Every single woman in my family, except for one, has died of cancer. And so people, really did the fear factor.
And all of those people had unhealthy lifestyles.
Every single one. And so I never got the testing because the odds are I had it, but I didn't want that in my brain. And I know we've talked about this before. So I decided not to have the test done, the BRCA gene test, because it didn't matter to me. I was just going to do things differently.
And if don't forget, there's a possibility you don't have it.
Correct. But regardless, I'm not going to live life any differently. So that information was better for me not to have, because I didn't want to anticipate anything. Because I believe that when you set your mind on something, right, you have when
you worry about
mind
something,
is amazing.
You're gonna create inflammatory processes that bring about either that disease or other diseases. Do you know when I was in chiropractic school, in pathology. We had like 4 semesters of pathology. So we're studying all these diseases. I literally experienced every disease we were studying. Because you start to read it, you go, oh my gosh, I think I have this.
That's why you're never supposed to like use WebMD, like on symptoms. Don't Google your symptoms.
Right.
Because you will have like a plethora from like a brain tumor to indigestion. Like, just don't do it. It's not worth it.
Yeah.
Go to an actual...
I literally experienced menstrual cycles and menstrual cramps and everything else that's not possible. I experienced,
No labor, though.
I was never pregnant.
Actually, but when you were going through your pediatric diplomat course, and I came down to Chicago a couple times with you, there were parts that they would not let me sit in on because they did not want me to hear and know about all the potential risks of pregnancy and birth and all that. So they made me step out a lot.
Yeah.
And they wouldn't let me sit and hear it, which infuriated me because I'm like, I want to know.
Yeah, but it's not worth knowing.
It's not.
You don't need to know when you're pregnant and you haven't met your baby yet and you don't know what's really in there. You start to read about all the things that could be going wrong while that's happening.
So scary.
There's so many of them. You don't want that in your mind.
No,
so
you do not.
Don't. But here's what I guess disturbs me about this article.
Okay.
Is that, in my opinion, and tell me if I'm wrong, autism is new. Like, how many people do you know in their 80s who have autism?
Correct.
Do you know anybody?
Now, some people will say, oh, they were just never diagnosed. We didn't know. No, that's not true. We literally...
Yeah. It's a new thing. Like Elon Musk is autistic, right? He has Asperger's, self-proclaimed. I'm not diagnosing him. He says it himself. He's got Asperger's. He's probably the oldest person I know on the spectrum. And he's what, 40 something, 50?
Right.
Is he 50 yet?
I don't know.
He's 40 or early 50. That's the oldest autistic person I know. He definitely doesn't have dementia or Alzheimer's.
Right.
And but I don't know anybody. All the other people I know who are on the spectrum are a lot younger than that. And you 40 years ago, I don't remember autism being a thing.
It looks like, if chat is correct, that's my atlas. It says that the first actual diagnosis was credited to 1943 when a psychiatrist wrote a paper entitled Autistic Disturbances of Affective Contact. And in that paper, he described 11 children with what he called early infantile autism. Isn't that interesting? But it wasn't...
But nowadays, you can't diagnose autism until they're older, so they're not infants anymore.
Right. I think it's very fascinating. So, yeah.
Go figure. So anyways, I don't know what they're saying is do we actually have a number of people? The article didn't talk about it. Do we have people that are on the spectrum who have developed Alzheimer's, and what are those numbers and what percentage of them? All they're saying is that when they study the brain of someone who has Alzheimer's, they see abnormalities that are similar to the abnormalities that they see in people who have autistic.
Right.
Well, correlation is not causation.
Yes, exactly.
So they could have similar patterns of what if those are both side effects or manifestations of the disease, not the cause of the disease.
Right.
It's like if you crash your car after going to the dentist, you go, the dentist caused my car accident.
Pretty sure they won't pay for that one.
But I do like what they're saying is that let's treat the brain on a wellness method of let's make sure there's no inflammation and toxicity in the brain and the nervous system. And by doing so, we may be able to treat both autism, Alzheimer's, and dementia all at the same time. I'm a fan of that.
Correct.
That works for me. So I won't throw that one.
Let's do the cannabis one because we've kind of been putting that on the back burner. So let's get it done.
Since I'm on a roll with Washington Post, this one's also Washington Post. Author is Sarah Klein, said growing use of cannabis, especially among older adults, and its effects on the brain. The title article was The Surprising Ways Cannabis May Affect the Aging Brain. While many users report benefits for pain, sleep, and anxiety, research shows mixed neurologic effects. Cannabis is consistently linked to worse working memory, both short-term and potentially long-term in heavy users. It's also associated with structural brain changes, especially in those who started using at a young age. However, everybody starts using at a young age. I don't know. What's a young age?
Correct. Probably teens.
However, in older adults who begin later in life, some studies suggest possible neuroprotective effects, including increased brain volume in certain regions.
So, because we're getting ready to do another topic on the link between like herbicides and pesticides and increased risk of cancer, let's apply that to this.
Mm-hmm.
Cannabis, marijuana is a plant
Mm-hmm.
that has to be harvested.
Mm-hmm.
So I had never thought about this before, but I'm like, is there an impact of herbicides and pesticides on cannabis as well? Because to me, I would say that probably is the greater link. How do we know that it's not the pesticides and herbicides that they're putting on the cannabis versus the cannabis itself? Like, I don't know how we can even extrapolate this anymore.
Right.
Because things that should be good are no longer good. And I know there's a lot of controversy surrounding marijuana and cannabis, and now it's legal, and it wasn't always legal. And so I get all that. And I'm not advocating for or against it. But what I am saying is, how do we know that it's truly the plant or the herb in any situation versus what it's been contaminated with? I think that our food sources and our products that we use every day, they're all so toxic. It's in everything.
Right. So you're combining it with a bunch of other stuff.
Correct. So
It's like
how can something be neuroprotective and neurodegenerative at the same time?
Right.
It doesn't make sense.
Yep.
At all. So
and it's probably, because they say it's if you start young kids are the ones that are drinking more soda, they're eating more fast food, they're eating more junk food.
They're high fructose corn syrup. Those are all things too that impact, and we're going to be talking about gut health and how that impacts brain health. So guys, it drives me nuts. So these articles, while they begin to help you ask some questions, for me, this leads me down so many more rabbit holes.
Yeah.
Okay.
It says the
Coming up
research
simple.
remains inconclusive, particularly regarding dementia risk and mood disorders. The article emphasizes that cannabis may relieve symptoms short-term but could worsen underlying issues over time, especially in younger users or those with mental health vulnerabilities. All right. Well, thank you, Sarah Klein, for this amazing intake or input on cannabis.
I mean, and the other thing that it says too is that, cannabis can provide certain support and relief in certain things. Like if somebody's going through cancer treatment and they're going through chemotherapy and radiation therapy and whatnot, cannabis can be something that's helpful for those symptoms, right?
Anti-nausea effects are powerful. Its analgesic effects are powerful.
Right. In most cases,
it improves digestion,
100%.
improves sleep.
We have certain cannabinoid receptors in our body already.
We have many.
Which makes me wonder if it is something that can help the body, or if it didn't, why would there be so many receptors there?
Every time there's a receptor for something in the body, there has to be a good purpose for it. Like we have opioid receptors in our body.
Correct.
Right? That doesn't mean we should be addicted to opioids, but your body produces opioids, which is endorphins and enkephalins, morphine-like substances. When you feel good, when you get a runner's high, when you have a great workout and you feel good,
When you're going into labor.
you actually released some opioids, and those receptors, because we've had opioid receptors since the beginning of time, but the opioids were discovered as a drug in the past 100 years.
Right.
And so you go, well,
Although there are plants and herbs
opium.
that do the same thing, they're just natural.
Yeah,
And then we just created the chemical compound based on the natural.
that's true. Yeah.
So I think these things have all existed. I've said this, and again, for me, alcohol and pharmaceuticals are way worse in many instances.
Yeah. Now, the smoke from the marijuana goes into your lungs. That can damage
That can
the
be
lungs.
damaging,
Yeah,
for sure.
So, and they are talking about heavy users. I don't know what they mean by heavy, but I'm assuming those are people who are like
All day.
smoking throughout the day.
And then I found this really interesting too. It said that cannabis can be affected by herbicides, pesticides. I hadn't even thought about fungicides and even heavy metals. I'm like, and they said it's actually it's even bigger than with food crops, because with food, we can wash it, right? And just washing with water doesn't clean anything off your food, by the way. Using something like a baking soda wash, or also soaking in vinegar and things like that. Those are the things that actually cleanse, get the wax off of your food and get all the contaminants off. But you can't do that to marijuana. So you're like stuck with either inhaling, people vaping. You should never vape. That's terrible. So yeah, I don't know. I go back and forth on that, but I think that's a little skewed. So I think it's really the chemicals more than it is that.
Yeah. There's definitely a lack of data.
For sure.
Just like the last article.
Yep.
All right. So we have Trump's nominee for Surgeon General, which we already kind of announced. He's recommending Casey Mead. And then do you want to do that one with depression and gut bacteria?
Yeah. This was on News Medical Life Sciences. There was a Harvard Harvard scientist that did this research, and they're looking specifically at a gut bacteria that might be linked to depression through hidden inflammation pathways. And it said, if that's true, then maybe we've been treating mental health backwards for decades. I think we've been treating a lot of things backwards for decades. Let's just start with that. It says, are we managing symptoms while ignoring the source? Researchers from Harvard Medical School found stronger evidence connecting gut bacteria to depression through inflammatory pathways in the body. The study suggests that certain imbalances in the gut microbiome may trigger inflammation that affects brain function, mood regulation, and emotional health. They found, now here's the kicker, they found that when the gut bacteria, Morganella, Morgani, hopefully that's correct. I'm sorry, bacteria, if I mispronounced your name, interacts with an environmental contaminant called DEA. Can you say the full name, the chemical name?
Diethanolamine.
Thank you. Part of the reason I married him. It creates a molecule that triggers inflammation known as interleukin-6, which has been linked to depression. Okay, so when I read this, then I go, so that particular bacteria is not problematic in the body until there's this common pollutant, is what they said, that's introduced to the body. Okay, now we all should know that introducing something once or twice to the body, like our bodies actually have the ability to like self-regulate and detoxify. Like God built all of those processes into our body. It's when we have too much of a specific toxin or a number of toxins piled on top of each other, and our inflammation is up, and we're not eating right, and we're not exercising, and all of these things, that our health begins to fail, right? And our body can't clean itself up anymore. So it's a common pollutant. And I was like, okay, they wouldn't tell me what the pollutant really was. They didn't go into it. So I had to start digging, of course. And then, so let's talk about this. Here is DEA. I said, let's talk about this common pollutant. Where is it found? How are our bodies being impacted by it? So it says you need to check the label for, do you want to read all of these DEAs? These are the different ingredients. It's about 3 pages back. It's the detox support guide.
Yeah.
So you want to check the label for cosamide, DEA, loramide, DEA, oleamide. How am I doing so far?
Good.
Okay. Myristamide, DEA cetyl phosphate, the
Triethanolamine.
there we go. So any ingredient ending in DEA, MEA, TEA. So are you ready for this? Here's what it's in. Shampoo, body wash, dish soap, laundry detergent, facial cleaner, lotion, or facial cleanser, lotion, shaving creams, other household cleaners. Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah, and you use hot water to dilate your pores, and then you put this stuff on, and
Right.
it gets absorbed right into your body, and then you get depressed.
Right. So it's not about one or two instances of having this chemical in your body. It's about the constant hit that your body is taking from all sides. So if you don't think, there was a time where I did not think anything about what I was putting on my skin. It wasn't really until we had kids that I started thinking a little bit more about that. And so do your research and look at the ingredients label, because these cosmetics are some of the most toxic things you cannot even imagine. And we've talked about sunscreen before. That's in the list as well. So we really, really have to make sure that we're combating this. So look for household cleaning products and cosmetics that do not have those products in it, right? And then you also want to reduce your processed food, lower your sugar intake, increase your fiber, make sure you're getting quality protein, eat fermented foods if you can. Those are great to increase gut health. Make sure you're drinking enough water. Hydration is huge. Reduce your alcohol consumption, and support daily elimination. Guys, we are supposed to be pooping at least once a day, but technically, if you're having the right amount of fiber, you should be pooping after every meal. It's how the body was created. And so if you're one that you don't get that, then these are changes that you need to make immediately so that you can begin getting rid of the toxins in your body, because when we go poop, that's when a lot of that happens. And so we need to make sure that we're getting that process is happening regularly. So increase your cruciferous vegetables, broccoli, arugula, Brussels sprouts, etc. Make sure that you're cleaning your vegetables first. You're eating organic as much as possible. Lemon water is also a great way to detoxify the body, and easy to do. Throw some lemons in your water every morning when you're going out. Sweating, exercise, making sure you have good magnesium, glutathione. Milk thistle is also really good in helping to get rid of some of those
toxins. Those are
toxins.
things that support your liver, because your liver is one of the biggest detoxifying organs of your body.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, let's take an ad break real quick and come right back. Liver. Cilantro.
Cilantro is good
Cilantro
too.
is a good detoxifying agent,
Yeah.
and that actually helps you excrete heavy metals.
Yes. And let me tell you, I'm always going to say this. I think everybody needs to have a parasite cleanse done at least once a year, but twice a year. Because now I also read something yesterday off of this topic, but leading to something else, is that sometimes people who are diagnosed with pre-diabetes, which we've talked about, it's one of our favorite things to discuss, often it can actually be linked to a parasite. And there's a specific parasite. Well, a lot of parasites feed on glucose anyway,
Yeah.
but they can actually, this particular parasite sends signals to the brain, telling the brain that it needs more sugar because it wants the sugar. It's not that you're craving it,
Yeah.
but your parasite is craving it. And remember, when you were going into the hospital in the early 1900s, everybody got a parasite cleanse. It was just a common practice, and they stopped doing that. They knew that they needed to do that because without it, they couldn't heal people. And so now that's one of the things we've gotten away from. And as the conspiracy theorist that I am, my brain automatically goes to, well, if they want to sell more pharmaceuticals, they want to keep people sick. And if they want to keep people sick, that common thing they knew 100 years ago that they've stopped doing, like, it doesn't make any sense to me. That was like a common practice, and it was a great practice. And then they've removed that. And then you have to ask yourself why. I ask myself why. But my brain goes to, because they know exactly what they're doing, and it's deliberate.
Yeah, these are smart people with dumb motives.
Right. So, and remember, our cosmetics and our cleaning products, those are not the only, and pesticides, herbicides, those are not the only toxins that we're dealing with. Think back to our other podcasts. Our clothing can be highly toxic. If you're buying from Shein, be careful. Just be careful. I'm telling you that the products are horrific. So, and I don't know if I can even say that. I don't care. They're from China. They're not even a U.S. company. So do we care? I don't know. Maybe we care.
I wouldn't care if it was in the U.S. or not.
I'm just saying. So there we go. So be cautious.
Yeah, so change your shampoo and everything else. Beauty products, household products.
And I think, along the same lines, probably the last thing for today is there was a study that came out that, and we don't have to go into deep detail on this, pesticide exposure was linked to 150% higher cancer risk in a major study. So they actually took an area in Peru. They used Peru in an area that was like heavy agriculture. And they ran the study over multiple years. And these individuals in this study were exposed to 12 different pesticides. And I looked because I said, are these some of the same pesticides that are used here? And in fact, they are. The study was done over a 6-year period between 2014 and 2019. And they created a high-resolution map to identify areas that have the highest risk exposure. And they found a great correlation to the individuals in this in these areas and the link to cancer. And they are quantifying 150% increased risk in using these specific pesticides and herbicides. And then they wanted to go on and say, well, maybe it's not just one of them. It's piling of all of them. I'm like, no, it's a single one. A single one can cause massive damage to the body.
The person who says that, I'll say, all right, I'm just going to put this on everything you eat. If it's not just one, then I'm just going to put this one on everything you eat.
Right.
You're telling me it's safe, right? And
Right.
let's see what they do.
Right.
And put
Well,
your money where your mouth is.
Yeah, I don't know if you remember the whole Roundup controversy,
Oh, of course.
right? And I thought that Roundup was made illegal for a while,
Well,
and then it
you can
came
still
back
buy it.
onto the scene. Oh no, you can still get it for sure. And I think that's atrocious because we know what it creates.
We sprayed it on our tennis court, remember?
Yeah.
That was Roundup.
Oof. That was gross.
It didn't help our tennis court too much.
No.
Wait,
But
if anybody knows how to resurface a tennis court, let us know.
so I just think we need to do our research, and we need to know and understand that big pharma and what do we call them? Big food, the big food industry, big pharma industry,
FDA.
I wish I could tell you that they're looking out for all of our health, but
If they
they're
were, they
not.
would be recommending vitamin D and vitamin C, but they don't. They just tell you, oh, yellow number 5 is normal and safe.
Well, I mean,
And so are these sweeteners
you
that
even
are
look
toxic.
at they're making red 40 illegal, right? And now they're using beet red. I forget what it's called now, but it doesn't even come from beets. There's no beets in it.
Really?
No, it's a bacteria
Wow.
that they create
Because beets are very healthy.
I know, but it does not have any beet in it.
Wow.
It's very frustrating.
Wow. It's like when they say natural flavors. You know what that means? It means it tastes natural. So we use a flavor that tastes natural.
Mhm.
Because you see that at the end of the ingredient list. Natural flavors.
Yeah. It's a natural red pigment. I'll have to see if I can pull it up for the next one and get all the details on it. But it's actually the red coloring comes from the byproduct of the bacteria. And then they filter out the bacteria and you're left with like It's like the bacteria's excrement,
Wow.
but there's no beets in it.
Wow. Now I take a scoop of beet powder every morning.
Yeah. Well, that's probably fine.
Yeah. But this is actual beet
Actual beets. Yeah.
powder, yeah. And a scoop of fiber
Yes.
and a tablespoon of organic apple cider vinegar.
Yeah.
With a quarter teaspoon of mineral salt and a scoop of creatine. That's the first thing I put in my mouth in the mornings. Well, I drink some water first, and then I mix that in like 16 ounces of water and drink that.
It was funny. One of our new team members, Cheyenne, she said, "We need to be eating like Doc. We need to do what Doc does." I'm like, yeah.
Oh yeah. I don't know if you need to do what I do. I mean, I check my blood work every 3 months. I run through my blood tests. I check my blood sugar once a week with the pinprick. I check my own blood pressure and pulse and all that stuff regularly. I'm a checked man.
That's right.
Check everything. Check my oil, check my tire pressure, check my windshield wipers.
It's all checked.
That's right. So listen, before we say goodbye, let's say congratulations to a few people.
Oh, yes.
All right. So Andy and Marlena had their first.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, you guys. It's
I can't
very,
wait to
very
get my hands on these
sweet.
babies.
Yes, a beautiful baby girl. And then we had Shannon and Paul.
Yep.
Had their first.
Yep.
Another little girl.
Yep.
Right? And,
yes. Which I knew. I knew it was going to be a girl.
Well, good. Yeah. Good. I didn't, because I don't know these things till I see them. But,
I had a feeling.
But anyways, congratulations. And then Meredith and Dan.
Mm-hmm.
And
they
congratulations.
had a little girl too.
They had a little girl too. Beautiful.
Look, all girls.
And I actually met her.
Yes.
So I was very blessed by that. So congratulations to all of you. And how cool is that? Like within like just a few days.
Yeah.
3 of our closest friends all had little babies.
Yeah. It's very sweet.
2 of them had their first.
Yes.
Which is just amazing. They're in for a ride, that's for sure.
Yes.
That is for sure. But yeah,
now
whether it's your first or your third, it's still a lot. So
it is.
We'll
but
pray. We'll pray for wisdom and patience and protection and provision and all that stuff for you. God bless you all, and thanks for being part of our lives. We're happy with you.
We'll see you next time.
All right, take care.
Live radio, local podcasts, the Frederick Podcast Network at listenfrederick.com.